Today, we got a special guest joining us today, the real Sean Hardy. He's a man who loves his country, values family, is deeply rooted in faith, and has a strong business background. He also is knowledgeable about the world of crypto. For those who may not be familiar with your line of work yet, John, can you please give us a little bit of an overview of what you do?
Yeah, my name is Sean Hardy, and I'm a business owner, a family guy, and all that. But I run a couple businesses, run a transportation business. I'm an owner of that, and I also have some guys that work for me. So I run them guys. We're into real estate. We're into a couple of different odds and ends of different things, and we also are on TikTok. We run a TikTok platform too. So we have a couple different things going. Pretty busy with all that stuff, so it's pretty good.
Really good. How has your business approached evolved over the years?
Well, when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. So I had to go and I had to get some advice from some different people and all that. But my approach to business has been, I used to be just like everybody else, going to a regular job, working and all that. That wasn't cutting it. So I'm like, what can I do for my family to better my family? So I started looking at running my own business here and looked into it and seen that there was a couple good different opportunities that I could do. So I jumped in head first and just went in even without knowing or, learning too much about it, kind of learned along the way. And there's been ups and downs, but it's been good. And what I could say to people that's looking into starting their own business or maybe wanting to start their business is a lot of times you have to just overcome the fear factor. A lot of times with a lot of people, it's that fear, what's going to happen if it goes wrong. You just got to, I learned a long time ago, when you're approaching any kind of business, you're going to have number one come up in your brain is fear of even starting a business. So that was my main approach to it, was the fear deal, how to overcome that fear. And what I have to tell people is you just have to jump head first a lot of times and overcome all them obstacles along the way, because there's going to be a lot of obstacles, but fear, throw it out the window. Make fear your best friend and just go with it.
I like that. That's really good insight, John. Can you share a significant business challenge you faced and how you overcame it?
I would say a lot of businesses are probably coming to this thing of with a slow economy, because you have ups and downs. You have cycles in business. So one of the big obstacles in business is a slowdown in the economy or maybe a halt in the economy. And what you have to do is you have to make connections with people. A big thing with business is connections. You can't rely on the old thing that worked for you. So you got to come up with new ideas and new plans and overcome those downtimes in economy. So one of the things that we have had to deal with is right now, as a lot of people know in the United States, which is where we are, is the slowdown and decline with the economy. So say, for instance, in the transportation business, you have a decline in the rates of moving product across the United States. So what you have to do is you have to start doing more hands-on and foot labor and going to these companies and making connections and doing contracts and all that sort of stuff so that you can stay in business. Because if you just go off the old ways, where a lot of people say for transportation, they use like what they call load boards and stuff, you got to kind of go away from that and go more into making connections with people and gaining trust with people so that they can rely on you and your business and to build your business that way.
Really good insight again. What advice would you give someone starting out, like looking to start their own business?
Tell them first off, if you don't know anything about business, one of the easiest ways to get information, it's not always the best way, and you may not find all the information you need. But if you're looking at starting a business, this may not be good advice for everybody, but go on YouTube and search for the business that you're looking at starting. Get other people's perspectives, other people's ideas, not just go to that. If you know somebody that's maybe in the business, or you can find somebody that's in the business that you're thinking about, go talk to them, get their insight, get their input on what they think, if it's a good time to start it, if they should wait, or what the ups and the downs are. I'm going to tell you, other people that are in the same business that you're doing or looking to get into, they have a lot of information and a lot of insight. So your network that you surround yourself with, that is very powerful when it comes to business.
Sean, what are some of the key habits or routines that you have contributed to your success in your business?
I'm not really sure, not sure about that one.
Do you do a morning routine or anything like that?
Yeah, well, my morning routine, I have a morning routine. Well, sometimes it's different. Depends how big. Sometimes I got to hurry up and it depends what we got going on. But my normal routine is, I like to get up, in the morning, usually start my day to get it off going good is get up. I'll open up God's word, get into the Bible, pray a little bit about the day, because, you never know what I'm going to be facing out there. There's a lot of obstacles and challenges. So first and foremost, I put God number one, and then I get out, and I start going over what I need to do for the day. I may already have a bunch of phone calls, emails from different guys, try to go through that stuff. And then from there, it just all starts going, the day gets cranking up and it's full speed ahead before you know it.
What inspired you to pursue your career in business?
What inspired me to pursue it? Well, what inspired me was probably the biggest thing was my family. Having more time, I was like, I need more time with my family. So I was like, what can I do to buy that time? And the only thing I could think of was to start my own business and build it. And then eventually, scale back to let other people maybe run it or do it, put people in place and all that. So probably the biggest thing that really inspired me to do it was watching my kids starting to grow up and not wanting to lose that time with them.
Wow. I mean, how important is family in shaping your personal and
Oh, yeah.
professional life? Can you share a memory that your family experienced that like impact your outlook on life?
When my first son was born, probably one of the ones when he was born and all that experience and all that went along with that.
Most people out there, they always say that the thing that keeps them motivated the most is when they have a kid.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
changes
yeah.
everything.
It's a big one.
I mean, how do you balance your family time with your career?
Well, it can be a little hard. The way you got to do it is, especially a business owner, any business owner is going to tell you this, is it gets very, very busy. So it can be very easy to be working and building your business and everything and lose sight of your family. So what you have to do is you have to make a conscious decision that you're going to do so much and you're going to cut yourself off, and you have to make that decision to make time for your family so you don't lose that time with them. Because otherwise, running any kind of business, especially multiple businesses, you're going to become so deep into them that you forget your family. So you have to make a conscious decision that you're going to spend time with them, and you got to set a time and set a day. You just have to make that decision. Hey, I'm not going to do this till such and such time today, or I'm only going to do so much today. And then for example, from 6 on to the night, it's family time. So you have to just make that decision and do it. Otherwise, you will not have that time if you don't make a decision that you're just going to do it.
Make big decisions like that will make a big difference. I mean, Sean, what advice would you give to some people that is trying to strengthen their family bond?
Somebody that's trying to strengthen their family bond, I would say, first off, if you got a wife, anybody's got a wife, make sure that you're transparent with your wife. I mean, if your wife feels like you're becoming distant to her, it's very easy for a guy to do. I mean, we've all done it, got distant with our wife because we get too busy with other things. Make sure you have that communication with your wife, number one. And then with your kids, make sure your kids know that you love them. If your kids know you love them, I mean, every little kid, if I think back and a lot of people, what did you think, your mom and dad, when they showed you love, it was the biggest thing to you, show interest in what they do. Their kids may not they may not be into everything that you're into, but whatever it is that they're into, make sure you're showing interest in what their interest is. And that creates a strong bond with your kids. And with your wife, make sure you're communicating with your wife, because when there's no communication, I'm telling you, with your wife, it could be rough. So make sure you got the communication with your wife, that strong bond of love with your kids, showing interest in what they have, and then doing things together as a family, as a whole, no matter what it is. It can be from anything from taking them out to eat, to going fishing, to going to a football game together, to, just spending time. It strengthens that bond no matter what it is, as long as you're in that moment and you cut everything else out, turn that cell phone off, put it in your pocket, be in the moment with them, because that's the number one thing that they're looking for. They want you there in the moment, and that will create a strong bond in the family.
Sean, do you involve your family in like your business?
Yes, I do. My wife, she helps with it, with some more of the secretary kind of stuff. And then my kids, I have a couple older boys now. They'll do some stuff. I have them doing hands-on, and every now and then, if I'm out and about, I'll take one of my boys or one of my kids with me so they can see. So we create that one-on-one bond. So I always try to surround myself with my family, even in my business. Maybe one kid will be with me, or my wife, or whatever, and I make sure to try to include them in the business.
Do you recommend that for most people?
Well, I recommend that. If you could do that, I would definitely recommend that for people, because that will help your family life side of things with it. Especially if you're busy, you have kids and you include them, they kind of grow up around you and see what you're doing and understand a little bit what's going on and maybe why you're gone so much if you have to be, or that, they know that you're not just there leaving them in the dust, that you're actually working for them and you're including them in it.
Yeah, it's great insight there. What role does faith play in the way you raise your family?
I'd say faith is number one. God is number one in our family. We try to put him first and foremost. We're human beings, we're going to do wrong, we can't help that, but we put we put God number one. And the way I look at it in my business and my family, personal life, business life, putting God number one has helped me through a lot of obstacles with both side of things, with family and business. And the way I look at it, business side of things, is everything that I own, all the equipment, all the stuff that goes with the business is God's. And I asked the Lord, what do you want me to do with this thing today? What do you want me to do with that? And I'm like, it's yours, Lord. If I lose it today, that's because you wanted me to lose it. If this doesn't happen, it's because you didn't want it to happen. And I've just been that way. And I'm telling you, the Lord's blessed us and he's directed us in the right ways we should go, even in the ups and the downs. It doesn't matter.
That's remarkable. That's great inside information there. I mean, what advice would you give someone that's struggling with their faith?
There's a lot of people struggling in their faith these days. I mean, we have people who, I mean, from one end of the spectrum to the other, people who don't believe there's a God and say there's no proof there's a God, to people who, you know, I mean, we have extremes on both sides. So the thing is what's the balance and where should it be? First off, you know, I mean, there's lots of people that say there is no God and struggle in their faith. And they're like, well, I think there's a God, but maybe there's not a God, or all that. I want to believe, but I'm not sure. Is I just tell them, you know, the easiest thing for me when I was struggling with something that has to do with faith is I just went and I picked up God's word, picked up a Bible. I cut out every other man's opinion, whatever. I mean, we have per se preachers that will say from one end of the thing to the other, and they're all different. But where did they get that from? Was it their saying? Was it their opinion or that? And I struggled a lot with what I was hearing from other people, you know, getting my advice from them. So then I just cut out everybody. And if you're struggling, just cut everybody out, cut everything out, cut all the noise out, and just go pick up a Bible and read it and see. I'm going to tell you, God will speak through his word. That's how he does it. He says that he is the word, Jesus Christ. And he says, in the beginning was the word was with God, and the word was God. If you go, and I'm telling you, if you believe, you'll go and you'll read, and he'll give something to you, and it'll encourage you. So if you're struggling in faith, I say, cut out all the noise, cut out all the opinions, cut out everything, and just go. And what I tell people, dig their own well. Go to the Bible and dig their own well and get from it, because it'll answer every question. I mean, every question I'm like, it can't be in there. There ain't no way that, you know, I can find help in this area. And I'll go there and I'll find help every time, because he says, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be open. If you believe that, you seek, you're going to find it. You knock and it will be open. It's kind of like this little example I give. If I go over to my friend's house at 11 o'clock at night, and he's in his bed sleeping, and I need maybe some food, or maybe there's a tornado and I knock on his door, do you think he's going to come the first time I knock? He's probably in bed sleeping. But if I knock and I knock and I knock, he's going to get sick and tired of that knocking, and he's going to come to that door and open it. And that's the same thing I tell everybody. If you're not hearing something right now, you just need to keep knocking a little bit longer and seeking little bit longer. And I'm telling you what, you're going to find what you're looking for.
How has your faith shaped you as a person today?
I'd say it has a big factor in the way it shaped me, because the Lord, in the Bible, you know, I didn't used to always be this way. I mean, I was raised in a Christian family, and my father, he was a missionary and all that. But as growing up in that, I kind of became bitter at one time in life, you know, and I kind of had the attitude as, you know, it doesn't matter. But then God got a hold of me and he started dealing with me. And it's like it says in John chapter 3, verse 7, marvel not that I said unto thee, you must be born again. I actually had to be born again. That's a spiritual thing. It's not talking about an actual physical bodily experience. It's a spiritual thing. So when the Lord started dealing with me and all that, when he saved me and I was born again, that's when he really started working in my heart. And I'm telling you, it has shaped every factor in every realm of everything that has to do with me, from family to business to personal relationships with people. I could not love people as much as I love them now. And that's all people like I do now. Before, if it, you know, I could have just been, you know, like a lot of people and, you know, just I don't care attitude and not love them, you know. But now it's like everybody matters. Everybody has a purpose in life. And if it wasn't for Jesus, I wouldn't look at people the way I do now. You know.
Yeah, I mean, how do you stay grounded in your belief?
The only way that I could say that you stay grounded in your faith is staying in the Bible. If you get away, if you go like a couple months, a year or whatever, and you're not in the Word of God, you're just it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or not, you're going to just stray away, you know, because you're not in that, because he is that Word. So, I mean, if you're not in the Word, you're not, you know, fellowshipping with him, you're going to drift away. It doesn't matter who you are, and you're not going to stay grounded. So to enable for me to stay grounded, I have to stay in the Word.
Yeah, life's very difficult at times. I mean, God's always with you through the ups and downs. I mean, he's always there. That's what I say. I mean, life is not a straight line up, you know, it's down. It's how it goes. I mean, this country, we're gonna change a little bit into talking about our country here. And how do you balance your love for this country with current like politics and social climates?
Man, that's a little bit of a hard one, but I can tell you this. I've always loved my country. I love the freedoms that we have and the ability to do the things that we do. But one of the things I've had to kind of stay away from to kind of balance that is I'm telling you, the media, the news, it doesn't matter which side you're talking about. It will fill you and pump stuff into you, and get away from that. And you just got to stay grounded in what's really going on, because there's a lot of smoke clouds. There's a lot of, stuff that doesn't matter that they're trying to keep your focus off of when it comes to politics. And what matters is what's really going on. And the only way really to know what's really going on is to search for statutes and policies and stuff that they have going in place and all that. So we have a lot of people, like, oh, what's going to happen? It's going to be the end of our country. It's going to be, this is it. Well, we've been hearing that since George Bush was in. Well, I could say George Bush. I'm sure a lot of other people have been hearing it for a lot longer than that. But all the way from then till now, since I've kind of became involved in politics, I mean, I've been hearing, this is it. This is it. It's over, over, over. And this being an election year, of course, we're hearing that again. But the real thing is you need to know what are they really doing and what's really going on and all that. But able to love your country, because it's hard when you see all the bad stuff going on to be like, is our country still good, or, that. Our country, I believe, is still one of the greatest countries in the world. And the reason I believe that is because look at everybody wanting to get in here. Everybody's trying to get to the United States. I mean, we have from all over Brazil. We have people from Russia. We have people from all over this world trying to get in the United States. Now, let me ask you, why in the world would they be trying to get in the United States if there was nothing good here? You would not be trying to get somewhere if there was nothing good. And what they do is it's people wanting a better life for their family, and that they can have that in the United States. The United States still offers a good life for somebody who's willing to work and make a better life for their family. So, I mean, we still have that. So, I mean, I love our country, what it was founded on. I mean, there's lots of opinions on that and all kinds of stuff. We could stay there all day. But this country, I'm able to own my own place. I'm able to run my own business still. I'm able to take care of my family. So I love my country for being able to, worship. We have freedom of worship and all that. I mean, so we still have all that freedom. So I love our country for that.
I mean, how do you believe Americans can like contribute to the country's future in a positive way?
Well, I think that what people need to do is they need to quit to contribute to a positive way to this country, America, is first, they need to get off the news. The news is killing this country. Believe it or not, everybody watching the news making everybody in a bad attitude. So they need to get off that and start working hard with their own hands and their own brains and making a better life for their family and raising their family up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. I believe that would really change our country, instead of getting all their views and opinions from somebody else.
That's great insight, Sean. I mean, what do you think are the biggest challenges facing the country right now, and how do you think we're going to overcome them?
I think our biggest challenge right now is probably inflation. I mean, inflation's killing this country. I mean, our government is spending our money. I mean, they're wanting to raise our taxes, and that's hurting the regular, small, average person out here. I mean, we're paying more and more in taxes out of our paychecks and all that, and it's hurting our country. So we're shoving that down the road, putting that burden on our kids and our grandkids. And what the biggest thing is, we need to figure out this debt solution and the inflation. It's really killing this country.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember a certain time period during your lifetime that everyone really felt like back the country at one point?
When Trump was president, I talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people were doing the best in my life. I'm talking about my lifetime, the best that they'd ever done. And I'm talking about from all races, from all walks of life. And I go all over this country. I've been in all lower 48 states, and everywhere when Trump was in, everything was rolling good. I hardly heard anything from the average person. Now, I'm not talking about what you hear on the news, on the media, but from everyday real life, everybody was having a good time. Business was booming. Inflation was low. Our gas and our diesel was cheaper. We had cheaper food at the grocery store. And I mean, people really, really, were doing pretty good at that time for them 3.5 years there. That's probably the best time since I've been alive that we've had in our country as far as politics go.
Yeah, just look at the time period. Look at that time period in history. Really, they're going to look back at this time period in the future, and they're going to write it in the history books, that some things were different, Just think about COVID and all the other stuff we went through, and like look what we're going through right now. It's really remarkable what we're going through right now. I mean, how do you How do you express your patriotism in your everyday life?
I don't know. I just kind of let it come natural. It's kind of just one of them things that's, I guess, is built into me. It's just kind of comes out,
Okay.
and there isn't any really thinking about it. So
Did you serve for this country at all by
I
chance?
did not, but I was born on the Air Force base. My dad was in the Air Force, and all my uncles and aunts were in the Navy and Air Force, and I was born down there on the Air Force base. But I was never in myself, but I was surrounded by, everybody that was.
Yeah, no, that's pretty remarkable there. That's a good story. Do you have a message for like the younger generation about what it means to love the country?
Yeah, I would say what it means to love the country is the young generation, you guys are being taught so much lies and propaganda. And it's kind of like, I mean, there is a real war going on with propaganda in the world right now. And what our schools are putting out is coming from the government. We got to remember the curriculums and all that are coming from these people who want to destroy. So once you realize that, you need to pull away and go figure out what is the real history of our country. So what I tell every young person is you need to learn the real history of this country. And the way to do that is I've been there multiple times is if anybody could go and visit Washington, D.C. and go to the Library of Congress, that place is chock full of biographies and stuff on this country that is handwritten and hand-penned from presidents, from people of the past. And a lot of people, they have different views on, say, Abraham Lincoln, the Civil War. What was it really about? What was the Revolutionary War about? Why did that really happen? All these things. Well, what you have to do is you have to go dig for that information yourself. And it's not going to come from your normal sources. You need to go to the horse's mouth. And over there, they have records of a lot of the original documents. So go read them original documents. Go read the Constitution word for yourself. Go read the First and Second, Third, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth Amendment. Go read them word for word and see what it has to say. And I'm going to tell you, your mind will be blown. Go read what Abraham Lincoln had to say. Go read what George Washington penned down in biographies. If you can ever get over there, go do it and find out. And you're going to start realizing, hey, how much was I taught was a lie and how much was truth? And you might really start falling in love with this country and change your view a little bit when you go really learn what really happened.
Yeah, it's really good inside information there. I mean, if you really think about it, the inflation that we're having problems with right now is pretty tragic to our country. I mean, for someone that's new to like crypto, what do you say are like some of the most important things to understand before investing?
So, man, that's a big world for a lot of people. There's people that are used to it, and there's people that are just coming in because it's starting to take off again. But I'm going to tell you, anybody that's looking into the world of crypto, do your own research. Don't listen to anybody. There is a lot of smoke clouds and a lot of puff out there on, say, X and Facebook and all these different groups. So if you're into crypto, make sure, I give everybody this advice, you use a wallet, you hold your own keys. Don't give anybody your keys. Them keys are your private keys, and you want to hold on to them. Don't give them to a centralized platform. Don't give them to anybody because that wrecks a lot of people. And a lot of people listen to other people and tell them what to do. And what they don't realize is they may sound like they're your friend, but they're not your friend, and they will take all your money because they take your private keys from you. So hold on to your private keys.
Yeah, these exchanges, they own your keys basically. If they go under, they have your stuff.
Exactly. I'm a big guy that says stay away. I mean, we have to use exchanges for some stuff to move money in and move money out. But what I say is when you're on exchange, move that money to a private wallet, preferably a cold wallet. But somebody that's new that's getting in can use a hot wallet, like say MetaMask is a hot wallet, different ones out there, Rabbit and all these different ones. But if you really want to get into it and all that, you need to learn about cold wallets, Ledger, Trezors, all these ones, and make sure, that you're the one in control of your money. Don't trust anybody else to control your money because you will be sorry one day if you keep that up.
What first sparked your interest in cryptocurrency?
Oh man, I got interested in crypto the first day, right when Bitcoin started. And when it did, I
Really?
listened to everybody else, and I'm like, oh, what's this new form of money? It's fake, it's kind of whatever, and everybody's like, it's a scam. It's of the Antichrist. It's bad, it's one world order and all this. So I missed out on Bitcoin on them first, the first few years there. And because I listened to everybody and I did not know what cryptocurrency really was. Then I got into the second bull run. I put money in and I kind of did the full little deal like everybody else. I freaked out. I lost money, pulled it out when if I would have waited a while, then I would have really made it big. So then we come down to this one that we have now. And I've learned. And I'm telling you what happened is I just, been watching people and, I seen a couple friends and that's what really sparked my interest when I seen a couple friends who really made it. So that kind of drawed me into the crypto world. And then I started studying about it, watching videos about it, learning, about cryptography and what happens in a digital blockchain and all that. And, there's a big, big world there. And I'm going to tell you, people who think that cryptocurrency is fake money, it's not fake. It's real as can be. So you just got to check it out and learn about it.
Yeah, exactly. You got to do your research on everything we're talking about here. I mean, don't just rely on someone like me and you to just tell you how it's going to go and what's going to blow next. You got to do your research.
I was going to tell people too, if they're looking into crypto, what crypto that you're looking at. There's like over 40,000 different kinds of cryptos. And, they call them, meme coins, and, you have legit stable coins and all these. You just don't want to throw into any crypto out there. You want to make sure you're doing your own research on the coin that you're investing in.
That's great inside information there. What do you see the future of cryptocurrency in the finance world?
Well, there's two different avenues we can take here, especially in this election year. I know a lot of crypto guys are watching this election coming up. So, I mean, we have two sides of this. We can get worse or we can get better. So, I mean, we have Kamala Harris. She's been against crypto and her whole administration. Now she's trying to soften up, and say, hey, I'm going to make, a crypto deal and all that. Well, I don't believe her for 2 seconds because she's never been for it. But you got to look at people's views and stuff. But then, of course, we have Trump. He's surrounded by administration who's all for it. They're wanting to make, decentralized banking the thing of the future and all that, and he just paid in Bitcoin at a bar, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, the first time and all that. So, I mean, we have two different avenues we could take. If Trump gets in, you can see crypto really taking off in this country. You can see more of being able to pay for it out of a lot of places and becoming more of a, what would you say, currency that's used by the everyday citizen. Or we could see it go down as we keep fighting, and we keep having a hard road with crypto in this country. But then what we got to remember is decentralized crypto is something that can't be stopped. So no matter which side we're going here, decentralized is always going to be there. You can't do nothing with it, no matter how hard they try. So, I mean, I think crypto has a very bright future no matter which path we go down. It's just a matter of time, whether it's sooner or later with crypto.
Yeah, that's really good information once again. I mean, how do you think crypto can replace the traditional banking model?
Well, I think what's coming down is a lot of people are realizing that they don't have control of their own U.S. dollar. And as we've seen, we've had a lot of banks, we've had a lot of major banks at the beginning of this year shut down. And you have people go there and you say you have $10,000, $20,000 in that bank. And the bank shuts down, and they won't let you withdraw it. That's your money, but yet you can't get it. You have $20,000 in the bank and your bank won't let you have it. What do you do? But now people are realizing if they have, coins on a decentralized network, that you're able to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to move that money around and pay somebody whenever you want. It's never shut down. You're never locked out. As long as you're doing the right things and you didn't link somebody up to something you shouldn't have, then you always have that access no matter what. The bank doesn't shut down. So I think decentralized banking is really going to become a thing of the future because people are going to realize, we have control of our own money versus in the banking institutions, you do not really have control of your money. If they want to shut the bank down or lock you out, you don't have access. Decentralized crypto, you always have access. You can move the money around, buy whatever you want at whatever time. Of course, it's volatile, as we know now, but you have access to your coins at any time of the day that you want.
Shawn, I got to ask you, how do you approach risky assets like cryptocurrency?
I like risky assets. So what I usually do when it comes to risky assets is I'll look at their performance, say over the last 5 to 6 years, and I want to see how they performed. If something has been trashed for 5 or 6 years, then I'm not going to risk in it. But if you have a risky, say, asset and it was way up, say 4 years ago, crypto, for instance, that was during the bull run, but now it went down and you're looking at, say, I like to look at computer code. When it comes to the code and what a coin was made, how it was coded and how it works, that's a big thing. You want to check that out. I mean, I know it's geeky and technical stuff, but once you get into that, I like to study that stuff. So when it comes to how risky, the more risk you take on something, the higher the reward. That's how it always is. So I'll usually try to find one that's risky, but yet has a good track record in the past where it possibly can make very good returns in the future.
Like I tell everyone, always do your research, and then do your research in all types of cryptos because there's lots of them and they're different in different ways. They all have different use cases. I mean, do you have any speculations on any cryptos coming up you're excited about?
I have a few. I know one I did really good in, but I'm the kind of guy who can stick it out and everything. But I see there's a couple cryptos that I see really coming and making a good turnaround. And one of them is, I don't know if anybody's heard of Richard Hart. but the Pulse chain ecosystem with Hex and Ink and PulseX, them things in the last 13 days, I mean, everybody rode that train for 2 years of down. Of course, a lot of people did in a bear market, but in the last 13 to 18 days, all that crypto is already up 218%, and it's still going up. So, I mean, if you're looking at a couple good ones, you could look into Hex, Pulse Chain, PulseX, Ink. Another couple good ones, of course, are going to be Ethereum. You may not make as many, X's on it, it might not double your money as much, but you're still going to do good, holding Ethereum, Bitcoin, those ones. But if you're looking at maybe some possible, of course, do your own research. I tell everybody, this is me, just me saying this, is I believe that Hex and that platform over there is really going to do good for a lot of people.
I gotta ask you, Sean,
Say that again.
who do you think made Bitcoin?
You really want to hear this? I think Bitcoin is one of the greatest mysteries of all when it comes to crypto. And I think it started something that nobody thought really was going to happen. And to tell you the truth, nobody, everybody has who they think started Bitcoin, but nobody really knows. But I almost think that the CIA was involved in starting of Bitcoin. That's my own personal belief. But then I think they did it and didn't realize what would happen with the crypto world. And it kind of turned into something more than what everybody else thought would happen. But that's me,
Yeah, I mean, these companies like Amazon and Elon Musk, I mean, our country kind of leverages them and lets them get as big as they do,
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, what advice would you give to someone starting off in cryptocurrency?
I would say do your own research and hold your own keys. So if you're looking at getting into crypto, just remember, don't trust anybody that you hear tell you what to do. Make sure you dig, make sure you understand what you're getting into before you do it. And I mean, I know it's a lot of work, but it's well worth the work of digging and understanding the crypto that you're getting involved in. That's number one. Make sure you understand and don't take anybody's word for it on what they're telling you to buy. Because a lot of people tell you to buy a coin that's just plumb worthless and ain't going to do nothing. And what they're trying to do is get you to pump a coin so that they can, exit it on you and dump everything on you. So make sure, number one, you do your own research and understand what you're getting into.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being on today. I mean, you shared so much incredible information from family to faith to business to cryptocurrency. We really appreciate you giving the advice you've given. I mean, I tell everyone, go chase your dreams because your dreams won't chase you, and you chase your dreams. And I do appreciate you. Any last words for the guests?
Yeah,
or for the viewers?
Tell everybody, just like you said, go out there, make the best of it, chase your dreams, be all that God had you to be, and search for him, and just go out there, give it your all, and have a good time doing it, because life is short. We're only promised right now in the moment. We're not promised tomorrow. So go out there, be the best you can be by the grace of God, and just get with it and have fun doing it.
You only get so many summers in a lifetime. That's what I say all the time.
Right.